All right, this one is on the Proud Boys. This one is on the Proud Boys. They just sentenced the Proud Boys yesterday. You know, day before yesterday, whatever it is, depends when I decide to drop this video. All right, so this is about the Proud Boys sentence. So pay attention, listen up, because y'all need to hear something other than the YouTube gossip. All right? You know what it is. Unique Mecca audio, man. This one is on the Proud Boys. The Proud Boys sentence, you know. The Proud Boys was sentenced this week. Now, Joseph Biggs was sentenced to 17 years. He cried in court like a baby. Let's get this right. I'm going to tell you what they're going to experience when they get into federal prison, because that's where they're going. You know, they never expected to be amongst men like us. You know? So Joseph Biggs was sentenced to 17 years. He cried in court like a baby. This man even asked the judge to, you know, give him the opportunity to be able to take his daughter to school. Who cared about me having an opportunity to take my daughters and my sons to school for the 26 and a half years that I spent in federal prison? But these men, maybe it's because, you know, you remember what this side of the palm mean. But maybe because these men are white, you know, they even had the balls to say that. When I got sentenced and they asked me if I had anything to say to the judge, I was facing a continual criminal enterprise, which is equivalent to a RICO. They call it the RICO's sister or cousin. Now, I was looking at life and no chance of parole. They gave me life plus 20 years. Picture that. They asked me if I had anything to say. All I did was ask the judge to send me someplace I could further my education, because I don't believe in groveling and begging or none of that. I made my choices, you know what I mean? I'm not proud of my choices, but from where my mentality was at, that's where my choices was at. Now, Joseph Biggs, he begging the judge, oh, let me get a chance to spend time with my daughter. Stop it, Joseph. Stop it. Gunshots to you begging. You knew what you was doing when you ran up in that Capitol. Now, we talking about the January 6th insurrection. Now, they was charged with seditious conspiracy. That's anyone that tries to overthrow the government within the jurisdiction that the government has jurisdiction. Now, how in the hell does he get 17 years and I got life plus 20? My comrades got life. We didn't violate the government. They said we violated the people. You know, we remorseful for it. It happened then, and that's what it is. But now they want you to feel sorry for these men. Now, Biggs, you know, was one of the organizers. Then you had Zachary Rell from Philadelphia chapter. He was the leader for the Philadelphia chapter of the Proud Boys. This man only got 15 years, half of what the prosecutors intended to give him. How he get half? When the prosecutor offer a black man, let's get this right, you know what I mean? Gunshots. We're not gonna pull no punches. When the prosecutor, you know, requests a sentence for a black man, the judge give him just that. But now with the Proud Boys, they get half of that. How does this happen? And they say that the justice system is for us. Who is the just us? It definitely ain't us. You know what I mean? Now, Zachary Rell, like I said, the chapter leader for the Philadelphia Proud Boys, he got 15 years. Now, you also got another one. So you know who's who. My bag. I'm speeding because I'm about to get a little hype, you know? On the left, you got Joseph Biggs with the glasses. The baseball hat, you know, you got Zachary Rell, you know? Now, Joseph Biggs, this big tough man with the glasses, was crying and groveling like a baby. You know what I mean? Now, I'm giving you this because this is a gangster channel. We don't pull no punches. Now you entering into a gangster world, and I'm going to tell you what you getting ready to face so your people know what it is when they try and overthrow the government. The same way I want our youth to know what it's like when you break the law, selling drugs, scam, whatever you do, carry pistols, gang banging, shooting, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm going to tell you what they're getting ready to experience. But now let's get to Dominique Pizzello first. This man also got 10 years. Another wussy. He cried in court. Now, where do you do that at? You go overturn the government and attempt to turn the government. You take shields and break the windows. You go in, take over, Congress. You go in there and you run around yelling, hang Mike Pence by the nuts. And you get 10 years. And I get 10 years for selling drugs. Welcome to the American justice system. Don't say I didn't tell you. Make sure y'all pay attention. Don't tune out, the rap bastards and flip-flop wearing in public dudes and, trolls. I'm going to give you your 3 seconds to tap out. That's your 3 seconds to tap out. Now, okay, so we got Dominique Pizzello. He got his 10 years. Yeah, I'm going to say his little 10 years. Because I don't know too many black men that got 10 years for selling drugs. And these men went and stormed the Capitol in Washington, D.C. and got 17, 15, and 10 years. Come on, man. The judge called January 6th a national disgrace, and that they trampled on the nation's peaceful transfer of power. They trampled on the nation's peaceful transfer of power. And they got less than half of what we got for selling drugs with no violence. I'm talking about these guys took the shields, they fought the police, they sprayed pepper spray, they went with AK-47 and other assault rifles and marched the capital of the United States. And the most they got so far was 17 years. Gunshots, picture that. Now, there was over 1,100 criminal cases brought on that situation, and they're only focusing on a couple to let us know about. Because the rest they're going to let slide under the rug so that we don't know how they dog us for, being black and how they, award them for being white. So that's where we at. Now, the blind sheikh was also charged with seditious conspiracy. He got life. Maybe that's because he's not right. But the blind sheikh got life, I'm not going to speak on what he should or shouldn't have got, but why did he get life? And these men that orchestrated this, plotted this, got 17 years max so far, Now, the Proud Boys, they stated that this is only warning shots to the government, letting them know what's more to come. They stated that this was only warning shots for the government, and they still gave them 17 years and still gave our people life with no chance of parole. Y'all explain that to me. Put that in the comments. And let's hear the rat bastards and trolls and flip-flop wearing in public creeps that's going to try and justify that and saying drugs is worse than storming the Capitol. Ain't none of us thinking of nothing like that. We never thought of that. And these people not only thought of it, they activated a plan and they acted it out. And they fought the police. I allegedly fought the police because they was choking out and trying to strangle another fella convict during the Million Man March, during the crack law era. And I allegedly jumped in and stabbed 2 of them to save this brother's life from Ohio. Come on. I'm not proud of that. I'm not justifying that. I'm not mollifying that. I'm just speaking on the truth on what it is. This here is a gangster channel. I don't pull no punches, Now, this is a crazy one. They thought that Trump was going to come to help them. And the crazy part is, if they allow Trump to run for president, and he wins, I guarantee you he will pardon them because he liked the shock value. I guarantee you he will pardon these Proud Boys. They expected him to pardon them before he got out of office, you know, but it was too much spotlight. But this man get in here, and you better believe he will pardon them, you know? And I'm saying that first here, you know? And I'm telling you again, if they allow Trump to run for president, I guarantee you, and I'm saying this, and y'all can put in the comments, do all your stupid hating and trolling and rat bastard and flip-flopping in public crap, whatever you want to do. But I'm telling you like it is. Trump run for president, he will win. Bottom line, Trump will win. If Trump don't win, it's going to be a civil war. Not encouraging it, not looking forward to it, but I know these type of men's mentality because I was locked up for 26 years in federal prison, and I was with the top of the totem pole from Barry Mills all the way down to the Aryan Brotherhood, the dirty white boys, and the skinheads. I know how they think. These men here, right? Let me say this. When these men here enter into the federal system, they will get a hero's welcome. All that crying in court, they're going to laugh at them, this and that, and they're going to say they did that because they was trying to get the judge to feel sorry for them, that it wasn't real tears, and they're going to go on with their life in prison. But these are going to be the future leaders of the penitentiary. They're going to, you know, they're going to resurrect, you know, white pride in the prison. They don't lock up too many, you know, white guys in the prison. You know, so their numbers are weaker. But I'm going to tell you this about the white guys in the prison. The white guys in the prison, to me, it's just me speaking, is one of the most violent races in the prison. And then, to me, it's all my opinion. Y'all put in the comments. And then we got, you know, the Serenos and things like that. You know? Just talking about the different races. We're not talking about the blacks. But I'm letting you know, when these men enter into the prison, they're going to get a hero's welcome because the whole prison watched it on TV and was rooting for them. The whole prison, state and feds, watched it, and believe me, they was rooting for them. So when they get a chance to actually stand in front of these men to hear the stories on how it went down, oh my God, yo, they're going to resurrect white pride, white power, and all of this that's going on. Like I said, when they have this election in 2024, I'm telling you first, please, my brothers and sisters, you know, Caucasians, Asians, Hispanics, everybody, heads up, be aware, be aware. Let's pray that none of this happens. But I know the mentality of these men. They're going to be even more spotlighted because this is how the media works. The media is going to bring all of this up that's happening now. 18 months later, they're going to come back 18 months and bring all this up, and it's going to spark everything in, you know, the rest of society, you know, that feels sorry for these men. It's going to be it's going to be a rough time in America, this next election. Y'all sitting back, you know, y'all listening to, you know, Little Baby, Keisha Cole, you know, Lil Durk, you know what I mean? Beyonce, you know, y'all TikToking, y'all Instagramming, Facebooking, YouTubing, and y'all are lost. You lost to what's really going on right now in this country. Because when this election come up in 2024, I'm going to cover it. You know what I mean? When it comes up in 2024, y'all could pull this video back up from the Labor Day weekend and know that Unique Mecca Audio told you this first. It's going to be nothing nice. Yes, I don't want it. I pray that it don't happen. But we're heading towards a potential civil war. Please, Please, let's all say a prayer for this country. Donald Trump has lined himself with the Proud Boys and the racist so-called people of this country. They believe that he's their, you know, Hitler. You know what I mean? That he's fighting for them to eradicate and stop the immigrants from coming and stop the blacks from elevating. This is what's going on. A president is supposed to be like a judge. He's supposed to be neutral for both parties. And that's the games that Washington has been playing for the last 50 years from the civil rights movement. But none of that means anything anymore. Donald Trump came up there and he exposed them that they was hoodwinking us, as Malcolm X said. They was hoodwinking us. Please put it on mute, because I can hear all of that. You know, they was hoodwinking us. And it's crazy, you know? And I can't believe that our people is on YouTube eating our own people's backs out instead of paying attention to what's happening in the country that they live in. Instead, they're worrying about each other and playing the crab in a basket game of, then he got 60,000 subscribers, so let's attack him. You know, Unique stood 10 toes down, he didn't tell, you know, and I would tell, or I did tell, so let's attack him. And news like this is going on, but nobody's reporting on it. So I'm leading the pack. I'm inviting my fellow YouTubers that's eating each other's backs out. I'm inviting all of y'all that's eating each other's backs out right now to start making videos about this politics and what's going on to enlighten our people. That's what I'm inviting you to do. Please wake our people up. Please leave each other alone. I don't mention anyone's name on my platform in a negative manner. Even people I don't like. Because that's my personal opinion, and my platform is to enlighten the youth. People say that they have a channel and they got, you know, a ministry and they doing this and that. And every video is talking about the negativity and downfall of another man. How is that uplifting the youth? Please, my brothers and sisters that have YouTube channels, let's wake up our people to what's happening in current affairs, in politics, man. Because like I said, when these men go to prison, they're going to be penitentiary heroes. They're going to run cars in the prison where they at. Then they're going to have to deal with men, you know, like Anton White, you know, from the D.C. car, you know what I mean? Anton's home now, thank God, but, you know, from the legacy that he left behind on how the car is supposed to be structured, from Lou Sims, how, you know, he structured the New York car and left it behind so that New York could survive in any state, even all the way on the West Coast. Because there was no one before us. Because we was the first ones from the crack era they locked up. So being that we the first ones they locked up from the crack era, we had to lay down, you know, a blueprint on how New York will survive across country, on another coast, in a penitentiary, to still keep our reputation, our honor, our dignity, our morals, and our principles. But these men is going to wind up in the federal prison. I'm going to keep track of where they go because I've been in the majority of them. These men is going to be national heroes, or should I say penitentiary heroes. And they have decades to do. So they're going to resurrect that white pride, that hatred towards other ethnic minorities, that other hatred towards the government. And let's pray, please, let's pray. We don't want this. but I'm just telling y'all the facts. This is my gangster channel and my gangster journalism. So y'all might not like it because y'all like to hear the gossip, who hot, who telling on who doing this, who doing that. That's not what I'm about. Y'all been watching my channel long enough to know that I do not mention anyone's name in a negative manner. I definitely give gunshots to the rat bastards. The rat bastards that I give the gunshots to, those are the ones that don't admit they're rat. And they try and come amongst the men that chose to break the law and be criminals. And honor the code of breaking the law and being a criminal. I'm no longer there. I don't want our youth there. I don't want our elders there. But there is rules when you enter the street code. And y'all not prepared for this. Y'all not prepared for this. So that's why I'm trying to tell you, don't break the law. To the white guys, the young white men and the older white men out there, don't go to prison. Don't break the law. To the young and old black men out there, don't break the law. Don't go to prison. Because there's politics in there. And you must follow them. You don't get a chance to go on YouTube and explain yourself about why you're accused of doing what you did. You don't get a chance to explain paperwork because in there we have something that says straight up black and white. It's in black and white. That means ink. If it said you cooperated, you cooperated. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. These men went to trial, so they're heroes in the penitentiary world. Let's give them a round of applause for at least standing up for their rights and going to trial. Let's give them a round of applause. Y'all can hate me, rat bastard, flip-flop wearing in public, trolls, say that I gave them a round of applause. I gave them a round of applause because they stood up as men for what they believed in. I don't believe in it. Let's get that straight. I don't support it, don't encourage it. But if that's what they feel made them a man, then do you. But I'm telling you, don't do that. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I'm trying to draw a thin line here, and I know the rats and trolls, oh, I didn't hit the gunshot. You know what I mean? It's going to have something to say. Cash App on the screen. You know what I mean? Remember, my name is spelled with 2 L's. It don't have a 1 in it. I don't care if it's $1. Donald Trump raised over $7 million the first day they put his mugshot out. And yes, he asked for the donations. And he got it. But a black man come on here and ask for a donation, and he's a beggar. He's an ex-kingpin begging, broke, this, that. Donald Trump allegedly have billions. And as the rat bastards and trolls and flip-flop wearing in public dudes say, you know, he wasn't begging. He's Donald Trump. You're black, so if you ask for something, then you're begging. Follow me on Instagram. My name is on the screen, and my Cash App is right there. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I got to buy equipment for all of this. You know what I mean? I got to buy gear for all this. And I have to survive. So this is my job. This is my, as you rat bastards and flip-flop wearing in public dudes would say, and don't forget the trolls, you know? This is my hustle. I sit here, I give you jewels. And you want the jewels for nothing. You know, Donald Trump give you a picture of his mugshot and get $7 million donation from his people, but our people eat our backs out when we ask for something. But those same people that eat our backs out, they have their Cash App up on the screen, but because they have no content worthy of the Cash App that's on the screen, they say I'm wrong for asking for my people to support me like Donald Trump asks his people to support him. What's that man in, I don't even want to call him a boy, but what's that man in Florida, George Zimmerman? George Zimmerman raised so much money after what he did to Trayvon Martin, and he asked for it because he put it on the screen. And they donated. And nobody never once said that Donald Trump or George Zimmerman is begging. But a black man come on YouTube and try and show you scumbags how to get money on YouTube. Something that you was too prideful and stupid to ask for. But then now, here it is. Black man is begging. Donald Trump is the man. George Zimmerman is the man. Come on, my family. You know? But like I said, when they enter into the prison, you know, they're gonna have to answer if they violate or anyone amongst their peers violate the black man. They gotta answer Lou Sims, Antone White, just to name a couple. You know, they're gonna have to answer to the Serenos, to the Pisons, to the Bloods, to the Crips. These are people that they never even crossed paths with in this society, but they entered into another world. So don't say I didn't tell you. That's why I say my Cash App is on the screen. I'm giving you something you can't get nowhere else. Something that can save your life, your freedom, your liberty, and your loved ones' freedom and liberty. That's why I make sure the Cash App stay on the screen, because I got to remind my people to do the right thing when you like something. Because Donald Trump's people know to do the right thing without asking. George Zimmerman people know to do the right thing without asking. But you got guys with no content that they just scour the internet. I got people watching this video as we speak. And all I got to say to you people, I ain't going to say people, to you scumbags and rat bastards and flip-flop wearing in public and trolls, you know what I mean? That's all I got to say, you know. But that's what it is. So don't say that I didn't tell you. These men stormed the Capitol. They was fighting the police. They was pepper spraying the police. You know what I mean? They was breaking windows, you know. They took over, you know, Congress, you know. They threatened and chanted to hang the vice president of the United States. Where do you do that in a democratic society and get away with it? And then you have people, and I'm not even going to front. I'm going to keep it 100. I'm going to say it here because I'm going to always say I love Donald Trump. And go ahead, rat bastards. You know what I mean? I love Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump did everything he promised his people he was going to do. You know, he did everything he promised his people was going to do. The current president, I don't even want to say his name, is in office right now, and they're still begging him to do one thing he promised to do. So how could you not love a man that honors his word? I don't agree with those policies that he did at all. But I love him because he honored his word to the people that put him in office to carry out those policies. How could you not love a man that honors his word, whether he has your agenda or not? And that's why the Democrats are losing right now against Donald Trump. I'm not even going to say the Republican Party because they exist no more. It's the Trump Party. The Democrats are losing the battle in Washington, D.C. because they're still blind to the fact that America has lost its morals and principles. And it's tired of the old men running the country telling us these lies. Paying our minorities rents for 20, 30 years. I know people still paying $200, $300 a month for rent in apartments that's going for $3,000, $4,000 a rent because the Democrats keep them comfortable so that they could come vote for the next Senate election and for the next presidency. You ask yourself this, everybody watching this, you ask yourself this, how many of y'all voted for the district attorney in your neighborhood? how many of y'all even know that you have the power to vote in the district attorney for your neighborhood? That's the man that prosecute our babies. That's the man that give our babies life and then give these guys 17 years. How many of y'all even know that they on the ballot? Put that in the comment. I know this is a little deep and I had to switch it up for you because a lot of things I want to do on YouTube that, you know what I mean? I know y'all not ready for because you got so many trolls and rat bastards and flip-flop men and public dudes that they so busy trying to get views that they're not trying to put out the proper information. I'm letting you know it's nothing nice in prison. When these men go, they're going to be wearing beige outfits, just like the minorities. They're going to eat that nasty prison food. They're going to get locked in every night at approximately 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? Come on, man. That's where it's at. You know? So, you know, oh, we got this TB. Hold up, man. My man in California. Yo, what up, family?
Good morning. I just want to let you know, man, I love your shows, man. I support your channels, man. When I get some moolah, I'm a wire cash app you some stuff, man. I love your shows. I always wake up early in the morning and hit like on your shit, so I'm just letting you know that.
All right, yo, I'm doing it live right now, big bro. You know what I mean? This is not who I thought it was, 'cause I don't have the number saved in this phone. This is my YouTube phone. I do answer the call. As you see, I'm answering it. I'm doing a video now on the Proud Boys being sentenced. You familiar with that?
The Proud Boys, yeah, the white racist motherfuckers.
Yeah. Watch the language because this is my YouTube. Yeah, the white men. Oh, yeah. You know, they say it's racist. They're alleged racist. Okay, we're gonna keep it politically correct because I'm trying to be neutral. Now,
trying to be professional, yeah.
There you go. Now the most time one of them got is 17 years. And how much time did our comrades get there? You know, that's in the prison.
What did they exactly do? I seen it pop up on the news.
Okay, when they stormed the Capitol on January 6th and they broke the windows, was threatening to hang Mike Pence, pepper spraying the police and fighting the police, and they rioted in Washington is what they did. They tried to overturn the election because they felt as if Donald Trump won. And to even give you one that I didn't let the people know yet. Yeah, check this out. When Dominique Pizzello was sentenced, this man cried like a baby. And then when he walked out the courtroom, he pumped his fist and said Donald Trump won. And only got 17 years. And I got life. My comrades got life. I mean, come on, family. Do you think that's fair? What do you have to say to the people about that? You live on YouTube. I'm going to air this in about an hour.
Okay. I got to say that our system is very much racist, and that's the truth, and it's politically incorrect. And it's not right. And I would suggest that any black people, period, just drop that belief that we can't be police officers. We all got to be street people. We all got to be this. We can't let all these racist people just be cops, judges, lawyers, and stuff. We got to start voting for bills. We got to start voting for our rights and changing laws and being politically correct and more intelligent about things. So if you black and you don't got a criminal record, I would suggest you to run for president, run for governor, run for lawyer, and educate yourself and go to school politically in the right way. Educate before you run for all these things. You know what I mean? You don't always got to work at a warehouse. You don't always got to work at a call center with a degree. You know, if you don't got no criminal record and you drop that belief that, oh, we can't be laws, that's snitching and this and that. No, we can't let racist people just be cops, lawyers, and judges and governors. So if you black, try to get in law and try to get educated. That's just my belief on it. And I felt like this situation here it shows you that America is still racist.
Thank you. And that's my point. They gave us life, man, for standing on I know guys got life for pointing that the drugs is over there. Oh, he got the good crack over there. And then, you know, that's an undercover cop he pointed to. He went and brought the drugs, then they locked him up and gave him life and charged him for the amount of drug that he was sold and got life. And this man got 17 years for trying to overturn the peaceful transition of power. Where do they do that in a democratic society?
That's crazy. Once again, black people got to go sit there, and we need, if you know somebody with no criminal record, you need to educate them and tell them, go run for president, go run for governor, go run for sheriff, go run for mayor, go run for city council, go run for all type of stuff. Go be a police. That's the only way America's going to change the system. We're not going to change the system by marching. We're not going to change the system by complaining. The only way we could change the system if we could get in the system ourselves and educate ourselves. That's the only way it's going to change.
And I'm going to add on to that. I feel that we should raise our babies to do all of these things because they raised their babies to do that, and that's why they're in the position they're in. If you're a civilian, You're not breaking the law. It's nothing wrong with raising your son or daughter to be a police officer.
Exactly.
If you're not breaking the law and you're not a criminal, it's not a problem for you to raise your son or daughter to be a judge, a prosecutor, a police officer, correction officer, none of that.
Yeah, I don't care. Look, I'm going to tell you like this, man. I'm going to tell you like this, right? I'm from the streets, and I've been in prison multiple times. But if I had the chance to be a police and I know I could change the system and change, I don't believe in being a snitch, but I do believe in guiding and changing the system and saving people, because a lot of these police they crooked. You know what I mean? I believe in that. You know, we got to change that belief. That teasing somebody, a black man, because they're police, that's just crazy to me.
And then you say that the white police treat you bad, you know?
Yeah.
Then you say the white police treat you bad, but then you say that your brother or sister that's not breaking the law, going to school, paying taxes, doing everything right, that he's a snitch if he becomes a cop. No, he's a snitch if he's out there breaking the law and then he tell on someone. But if you raise your child to try and change the system and be a part of, you know, this democratic society, there's nothing wrong with that. They think when I give my gunshots to the rat bastards and flip-flop wearing in public trolls and all that, that I'm saying I hate rats. No, I hate rats that don't admit you're a rat, so we know what we're dealing with and how to approach you accordingly. If you're walking down the street and you see a skunk, you want to be able to identify that's a skunk, so you know don't get next to him, don't corner him so he don't piss on you.
People that's rats dip and dive in two political situations. They dive in the gangster situation and in the civilian situation. You can't do that.
Got to pick a side. Pick a side.
You're going to be a civilian and help the community, or you're going to be a gangster. You can't do that.
You understand? And that's where we at, man. Like I said, you know, as long as a man or woman admit that, yeah, I told. If I get caught, I'm telling. I respect that if you do that. You understand what I'm saying? Because now I have the choice to deal with you or not deal with you. I don't respect you doing that. Let's get that right. You know, but I respect you telling me that you would do that. So now I have the choice to either continue to commingle with you or not.
And another thing is we need to stop just letting these politicians like ride our life, far as like telling us how much food stamps they gonna give us, how much money, how much of the military money they put in the military. We gotta start voting and passing laws. Mm-hmm. We gotta start having people sign papers as petitions on the streets and taking it to the government and saying, look, we want this, you know, and this and that. We want this. And another thing I do believe in is they need to pass a law on felonies to own firearms. Mm-hmm. With all these shootings going on, I think with all these shootings going on, now it's getting to a point where safety and security is very important. America needs to get together, and we need to pass a law saying that if you are a felony, it has to be a certain thing you have to do to arm a firearm.
You know, because
and that's not right for y'all to take us our firearms.
Because family, listen, you have these brothers. You understand what I'm saying? You have these brothers that's on the streets of America that's killing each other with these guns. The black men, you know, with the gang violence, whatever violence or whatever. I don't want to, you know, stipulate anyone. But we have these brothers out there, and they make it easy for us to get the illegal guns to kill each other. They don't have a problem when it stays contained. You know what I mean? In our neighborhoods. They didn't have a problem with drugs. I watched drugs evolve in America, and they had no problem when all the cocaine was in Washington Heights and the heroin was on 116th Street in New York, because it was being sold to our people. But when their people started coming into our neighborhoods to get the drugs, bring it back to the white society neighborhoods to destroy their community, that's when it became a problem. You know what I mean? As long as the black guys is shooting each other with the guns, they have no problem with it. They're not even trying to make laws to fix it. Just keep killing each other, because what we're going to do is we're going to say that you can't control your neighborhood, so we're going to go in and we're going to have to tear down the neighborhood and build some high rises and push your people out. To these Europeans, the best thing that happened was Katrina. They wanted that. They wanted that land, you know, that Louisiana was on over there. And Katrina came and gave them a reason to just disperse the blacks. And you know,
well, there's a lot of natural resources in there. Fishes. I think it might be salt, oil. You know what I mean? Yeah. Fishes, salt, oil. There's a lot of natural resources in Louisiana. Regardless if it's supposedly a poor economy or commonwealth, it's still a lot of resources coming out of Louisiana, from oil to salt to fucking what you call it? Fish. That's the fish business.
Yeah, the minerals. Yes, exactly. I remember when they had the Gulf oil spill out there, when they was digging oil over there. They don't even know that oil is over there. And they had the BP, correct me if I'm wrong, the BP oil spill that happened like in 2010. I was flying from Oklahoma to Florida, and I flew over it. And, you know, normally when you fly, you see this beautiful blue ocean when you go over the Atlantic and the Pacific and all of that. Now I'm flying over the Atlantic, and all I see over the Gulf Coast was blackness. It was blacker than my eyes.
And another thing about black people, every black person don't got to invest in weed. You know what I mean? Stop, everybody. Why does every black person seem like, oh, let's open up a weed dispensary? Man, start investing in certain stuff. It's plastic, that's big business.
Yep.
We use that for sodas, candy.
Man, they use plastic for everything, my brother. That's something that I was taught as a child. That was the first thing that someone that was telling me about investing in stocks. They were saying to get stock in plastic because they have to wrap everything that they sell in plastic, so that would never go out. My father told me the best business to get into was a restaurant or food, because people always have to eat to survive.
Exactly. I seen people on the news the other day. They got companies that go in the ocean and get plastic out of the ocean. That's how big that business is. Gotta watch my way.
You know, but yo, I've been on here 47 minutes. I'm going to call you back as soon as I get off. I'm getting ready to tap out, family. Thanks for calling. If you want to tell the people who you are, where you from, or your Instagram, whatever, you know, let them know now, family.
Okay, thank you. My name is Jeremy Hargrave. My rapper name is Soldier Made. That's my Facebook, Soldier Made. My Instagram is Jehovah Soldier. Instead of spell it with a J, you spell it with a Y. I'm a musical artist, rapper. I consider myself to be a revolutionary. Just want to tell y'all, God bless y'all though. You can find me on Instagram at Jehovah Soldier, or my rap name on Facebook, Soldier Made.
Okay, now tell the people how we met so they understand.
I like your channel, I like your style, you know, and I support you, you know what I mean? So I called you up, and I think you got the best stories. I wake up every morning to watch your channel, give you a like. So, you know, your stories out of everybody else's stories is the ones that really touch me out of all the stories. You know what I mean? It really touched me. How you were so professional about it. How you actually learned how to put a YouTube channel together or a TV show together through watching your channel. So I had to support you, and I called you. I seen your number, and I called you.
And what did I do when you called that number?
You showed me love, man.
I answered the phone. That's the point that I wanted to make. I answered the number on the screen. So if any YouTuber got an issue with me, my number is on the screen. But they figured they could get more views by trying to eat my back out and spending lies and propaganda other than calling. Yeah.
Let me speak up on that. One thing I never do, and I've been noticing this about this on YouTube, and I've been noticing this about other TV shows, other little podcast shows, you know what I mean? Like Adam 22. That look, bro, y'all don't have to degrade a black man and degrade each other just to blow up on YouTube and destroy and slander each other. That's just you. If you're doing that, you might as well become a Ku Klux Klan.
And that's where I'm at. I mean, come on, family. My number is always on the screen. I put it on my videos. Anybody could reach me. I answer the phone. You can text me if I don't answer, because if I'm in the hood and, you know what I mean, I'm not going to be here answering phones in the hood. But when I get home, I call numbers back and I text back to people. So if you got an issue with me, contact me and we deal with it as men.
Please, black people, stop slandering people on YouTube. That's crazy. Stop declaring war mentally and physically on your own people, man. That's ridiculous.
And the thing is, they tell lies and run with it. I don't understand this for the life of me. I didn't think I'd come home to this. But, this is what it is, man. Yo, but family, I'll call you in a minute. Let me tap out, all right? All right, family. Yeah. All right. That's one of the subscribers from California. The brother called me from California. When he called, I answer the phone. I have people calling me from Mississippi. Big shout out to Mississippi, too, man. Give me a round of applause. And Memphis. Big shout out to Mississippi and Memphis, man. You know what I mean? Big shout out to Ohio. You know what I mean? Arizona. People call me in Chicago. People call me from everywhere. And I answer my phone. So I don't just answer for flowers. If you got an issue with me, call me. And when I answer, say, yo, respectfully, Unique, I don't respect what you said, or I don't like what you said, or I don't agree with what you said. And then I ask you, what is it you don't like, whatever. Let's have a conversation about this. And when we come to either an understanding or we come to an understanding to agree to disagree, you could come on the platform and we could do it publicly. But let us get an understanding with each other first. That's why I don't slander nobody. I don't need to do that to get views. Because like he said, my stories is fire. You hear me? Fire. I sit back and watch my stories, and so many other stories come back to me from watching these stories because I've been through hell. That's why I wear these black sunglasses all the time, because I don't want to scare you away by looking at the blackness in my heart, Because like they say, the eyes are the window to the soul, and my soul is black because I've been through hell. And I'm trying to get some light in it now. I'm trying to get some light in it by giving back to my people, by giving back to all people. And that's why I'm reporting on the Proud Boys. And I haven't said anything negative about them. And that's why I corrected him when he said racist, because I don't want to call him that, I just want us to come together, and they could have, as Barry Mills told me, white pride. Because we have black pride. They have Chinese pride. You have Hispanic pride. It's nothing wrong with that. But America is quick to throw the racist label on anything. I'm not with that. Be prideful and proud of who you are. But don't feel like you have to disrespect the other race or your own race to do that. Cash App on the screen. Yes, I'm saying it. Yes, I'm Reverend Ike's little brother, because I feel these Jews deserve to be compensated. If you don't, tune out these other channels. No disrespect. And if somebody say something stupid in my comments, I block you immediately, because it's a no-tolerance gangster channel. And I know there's a lot of new people here that don't know. I'm not going to feed into that. If you disagree with me or say something crazy in a respectful way, I will even answer that. But if you come up here and call me all kinds of names and be stupid in a comment, boop, block. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. So let me tap out, man. All right? Welcome to the Mecca Audio Show. All right?
Cheers. Toast the crime. Toast the crime. The crime. The crime. The crime.
Mecca Jan of 26. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a raw in Uptown. They be whoring Uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend an ear. He started in Uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the youth them. Cause they the truth them. And bless up to all the root men.